So this is the largest work package, as I just said. It has several tasks. I will go through them in a minute. Overview, I will just give a very brief overview of the deliverables of the package, what tools we've been using so far, and then I will go through the scientific challenges with some of the progress that has been achieved and some of the issues that have been already mentioned by Eduard. So for the deliverables, the work package completed and submitted the first deliverable, which is a roadmap, which is actually a planning. That's in regard to Ivan previous comment. It's true that the proposal doesn't have a planning, but that's for the most important packages. That's what the first deliverable is about. We have a roadmap, scientific objective, which are outlined in detail. Regarding tools, we have been using Trello since the beginning of the project. This is a very just a picture of what it looks like. In here, deliverables are scheduled as epics. I don't know if you are used to the Trello to the Agile language. Epics are pretty much like major targets to be achieved. And all WPA1 members have been invited. I think most of them, if not all of them, have their profile on this platform. We have been using it with some mixed results, but we've discussed this morning how to use it further on, and I think that we reach a consensus to keep using it. It will be used mostly to monitor the progress of all the sub-tasks and unit packages that we have, and also to facilitate pack reports without asking every time flashcards to each scientific challenge leader. I want to say that one comment that came out today in our discussion on Trello is that it would be nice to have a tool that is the same across the entire project. And this has been remarked by a few people. So I invite people that work in other work packages to consider it, especially work package leaders, so that perhaps this can be actually used as a tool across all work packages and avoid different standards and different formats. Perhaps if work package leaders or other people have questions about it, they can come to me and I can explain a little bit more how it has been structured. All right, so I will be rather quick on this. As you know already, there are 5 major scientific challenges. Wind for energy has 2 main tasks, and one has to do with simulating wind across the terrain. One has to do with simulating a full rotor, including rotating blades. Exascale code, Alia. And probably Mathieu will say more about the Exascale codes. I will just mention them. There have been quite a few work completed already. These are the subtasks of this particular, of one of the 2 tasks before. I think that there are 2 tasks on this package. And then to each of the subtasks, there is a corresponding work completed. Same goes for task T1.1.2. Here, the work completed is relative to the first 2 subtasks. The rest, which involves also another partner, is still to come. Meteorology for energy. This is the scientific challenge that at the moment presents more challenges, which are technical and managerial in sense. It has 3 main tasks, and I want to point out that the 2 following tasks heavily depends on the first one. And on the first one, we have an issue, both because the scientific lead is actually the leader of this task, and he resigned. and because we have an issue um, with actually hiring an experienced researcher. We'd had one in our hands, but in the end, he didn't accept the offer. So we are looking for another one. Hopefully, there will be a hire done by the end of the year, but still we have to solve the issue of scientific lead, which is important because the scientific lead was actually the one that, in the end, curated and developed the main software, the main Exascale software in this package. There is some work done, nonetheless, in the second task by Fraunhofer. I'm not going particularly in detail, just that they have been developing some models trying to reduce the bias for, if I understand well, cloud coverage. Possibly this will be used when the full ensemble runs data will be available. Same goes for the second subtask of this second task, which is regards to cloud tracking, and which is particularly important to understand, I think, short-term, very extreme weather systems. Okay, moving on, materials for energy. We have 3 tasks here. One is to do with either interfaces in silicon solar cells. Then we have harvesting salinity, electricity from salinity, which particularly means batteries, and then organic and perovskite solar cells. There's been quite few activity here. Quite a bit of activity that have been exchanged between the Forschungszentrum Jülich and Enea. Some activity on the battery side, and also quite a few progress in the perovskite organic cells tasks. What needs to be done next, you can see here. There is more to be done in post-processing ab initio calculation, in putting them in PNEGF. I will not talk very much about PNEGF right now, but this is just, let me say, this is a question mark code at the moment, mostly because we lost the scientific lead at the very beginning of the project. We hoped to be able to still deliver the scientific payload without him, but it's becoming extremely challenging, especially because the work package that was relative to the scientific functionalities to be added to PNEGF was not, let's say, described in its complexity. And after 6 months of working on it, we realized that this was probably beyond the timeline of the project. So we are trying to find ways to overcome this issue. Water as the most of the task and most of the partners, I would say, I think at least. It's a very diverse scientific challenge, meaning that there is quite a bit of interdependence between the tasks. They are not, they're not connected on a sequence, but they can operate quite independently. But of course, they are also connected. And I would say that this is definitely the scientific challenge as most of the progress. There is a lot of, there are quite a few completed tasks, and there are a few ongoing, which are planned to be completed in the next 6 months. As you probably, I'm going fast, so you probably don't have time to actually go through them, but just trust me that the planned activity has to do with the sum of planned activity and some of the completing the ongoing. So this is the scientific challenge that definitely seems to be most on time. Last but not the least, fusion for energy and his 3 tasks. As Eduard already mentioned, this scientific challenge lost his main HPC expert. So the scientific payload have been somewhat restructured. For what is my understanding, not drastically structured, but just some of the most advanced promised tasks have been reconsidered. And also these have been reported in the deliverable, the 1.1. So the EU should be aware of it. So work has been done both on the flagship code, Gisela X, or what will be the Exascale code, Gisela X, coming from Gisela, and also on the companion codes, which are Tokamak 3X and I thought there was another one. I mean, I'm mistaken. Okay, so that's all for now. Sorry for accelerating, but I wanted to give a little bit more time to Mathieu, at least before the coffee break. Thank you, and if you have any question, please ask.